Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into the Sensational Alex Harvey Band, SAHB, a band that really, well, they defied easy labels, didn't they? Mixing theater, proto-punk, cabaret, quite the mix. Our mission here is to figure out how this unique Glasgow group, led by the totally magnetic Alex Harvey, hit this massive cult status. I mean, they were the UK's biggest grossing live act for a bit in the mid-70s, and yet they kind of struggled for that mainstream definition and, well, burned out pretty fast. Why?
Yeah, they're a fascinating case study from that era.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of adjacent to everything happening. You think about the 70s music scene, right? You got your glam rock, your prog rock, punk starting to bubble up, SHB, they used bits of all of it, but didn't really belong to any single camp. We saw one source call them maybe the most progressive rock band ever.
Progressive because they progress past genres, maybe.
Exactly, just that fearless mixing of styles. It was incredibly ambitious.
And Alex Harvey himself was key to that fearlessness, surely. But his story isn't the typical young rock star thing. It's interesting, he was almost 40 when SAHB properly launched. He'd been around the block, a very long one trying to show.
Oh, absolutely. His career kicked off way, way back, 1957, when a talent show in Glasgow got called Scotland's answer to Tommy Steele, apparently.
Huh, okay. Bit different from SAB's image later on.
Just a bit. Yeah, he toured with a skiffle band.
Yeah.
They even opened for Johnny Gentle once. And Gentle's backing band then included four guys who'd soon become the Beatles.
Wow. So he was brushing shoulders with history long before SAHB, and that stint in the musical Hair in London, 4 years, that must have played a huge role.
You'd have to think so. Learning stagecraft performance, how to hold an audience for a long time, vital for what SAHB became.
Yeah.
But the real spark, the thing that seems to have kicked off the Sensational Band in 72, it looks like it was personal and tragic.
His brother Leslie's death, the guitarist from Stone the Crows.
Yeah. Leslie died from electrocution on stage. Awful. And it seems that tragedy really galvanized Alex, gave him this renewed push for rock stardom, finally.
So he's got this new drive, and he finds the guys from Tear Gas, a Scottish prog band, the McKennas, Chris Glenn, Zal Cleminson, quite a dynamic there. Alex, the seasoned veteran, nearly 40.
Right, 16 years older than the others. And they brought this young, heavy, kind of undisciplined energy. Alex apparently heard them play and just grinned, said something like, yeah, we'll beat the shit out of it. He saw the potential in that raw power.
And they captured that immediately, didn't they? That first album, Framed, recorded super quick.
For 6 days, 1972. Very basic, very raw sound, trying to get that live feel down.
And that raw sound, it had ripples, didn't it? Even if the band itself wasn't a huge chart act initially.
Oh, yeah. That's maybe the core of their legacy, that sound. It was proto-punk before punk had a name. You hear it directly in someone like Bon Scott from AC/DC. He pretty much copied Harvey's vocal style. Yeah, quite openly. And Nick Cave, he said SAHB were the biggest influence on his first band, The Boys Next Door. So you've got this band doing like cabaret covers and prog epics, and they're also laying the groundwork for punk and post-punk. Incredible reach.
But the records were one thing. The real SAHB experience, the thing that made them the biggest live draw, that was the stage show. It was an assault, wasn't it?
Totally. Pure theatrical assault, costumes, aggression. Alex Harvey is this ultimate frontman, part pirate, part street poet, part ringmaster. And crucially, he never softened that Glasgow accent, kept it real.
Made him stand out. And the visual signature, Zal Cleminson's look, the mime face, the Pierrot clown outfit, was that just for show?
Well, yes and no. It started almost as a joke, apparently. Zal pulling these wild faces during solos. But then they started playing bigger places, arenas, and the manager said, look, nobody past the first few rows can actually see what you're doing.
So the makeup was amplification for his face.
Yeah, kind of. They look at Marcel Marceau, the mime artist, developed that sinister clown face specifically to project those expressions right to the back of the hall. Turned a practical need into this incredibly memorable, kind of creepy stage persona.
Genius. And they needed that command, that presence, because their gigs sounded intense, volatile even.
Utterly. Alex had zero fear. There's that story about the Buxton Festival, Hell's Angels causing chaos, riding bikes through the crowd.
What did he do?
Walked over, found their leader, and basically negotiated a truce. Just like that. He stopped a big fight when they were supporting Jethro Tull, too. Just had this authority.
And the Glasgow Apollo shows, legendary for the wrong reasons almost.
The damage was insane. Fans weren't just watching, they were participating, maybe too much. Chris Glenn, the bassist, tells the story. After one gig, he asked the manager how bad it was. The manager says, the first 2 rows. Glenn says, what about them? Manager replies, no, they've disappeared.
Disappeared? The seats?
Gone. Ripped out, cast iron seats bolted down, taken home as souvenirs. That's the level of mania they inspired.
Pure mayhem. And channeling that sort of energy, Alex created a character the fans really latched onto, didn't he? Vambo.
Vambo Marble Eye,
Yeah.
yeah, the ultimate fan icon, introduced on the next album. This character, like a tenement kid, graffiti artist, a kind of working class Robin Hood figure. And that chant, Vambo rule okay, it spilled out of the gigs, fans chanting it in the streets afterwards.
Wow, that's influence right there.
Yeah, Alex apparently had to come out, like, break character sometimes,
Yeah.
tell people to calm down.
Incredible. So Vambo's the street swagger, but then you have tracks like The Faith Healer, also from Next. That's more prog epic territory.
Definitely 7 minutes long.
Mm.
And that opening, that really tense building electronic pulse, it goes on for, what, 2 minutes?
That's a real mood. Where did that sound come from? Was it synths?
It was a custom gadget Alex had, actually. Hugh McKenna played it. Inspired by the Temptations' Ball of Confusion, that kind of driving pulse. But the length of that intro, the 2 minutes of pure tension, that's the amazing part. It wasn't originally planned like that at all.
Oh, I saw something about this. It was a mistake. Or a fix.
A complete fluke, born from cassette tape limitations. Back then, you needed side A and side B to be roughly the same lengths for duplication. And no matter how they arranged the tracks for Next, one side was always about 2 minutes shorter than the other.
So they needed filler.
Exactly. 2 minutes of filler. So they decided, okay, let's just loop that electronic pulse thing at the start of Fate Healer, stick some atmospheric sounds over it, just to fill the time on the cassette master.
That's unbelievable.
And it accidentally became one of the most dramatic, iconic intros in 70s rock. Pure chance creating art.
Amazing story. They weren't afraid of the dark stuff either. The title track, Next. That's pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah. It's a Jacques Brel cover, Au Suivant. It's grim. Cabaret noir, really. About soldiers queuing up for, well, brothel visits, violence, disease. It's bleak. Chris Glenn said the band was like, a tango. Really, Alex? But they made it work. Used a string quartet. Alex wanted it to sound like a Parisian cafe, saccharine but sinister. And they nailed that mood.
So they're building this really complex artistic thing, but then comes the hit single, which almost derailed it. Delilah.
Ah, yes. The Tom Jones cover.
Yeah.
Huge hit. UK number 7 in 1975. But it was a double-edged sword. Big time. The record label released it as a single while the band was off touring America without their okay.
Oh, wow. Not good.
No. And the immediate effect was, for people who only heard that single, who hadn't seen them live, SAHB suddenly looked like a novelty act. A comedy band doing covers.
Which was the absolute opposite of what they were trying to build with the theater and the Vambo stuff and Faith Healer.
Exactly. It really undermined their image, they felt. Branded them wrongly. Hurt them. Especially outside the UK where the live rep wasn't as strong yet.
So how did they react? Did they lean into it?
No, they doubled down on the serious stuff. The next album, Tomorrow Belongs to Me in '75, was full of social commentary. And that included the title track, which itself stirred up controversy.
Right. The song from the movie Cabaret, sung by the Hitler Youth character in the film. That caused problems.
It did. Some people accused Alex Harvey of, promoting Nazism or fascism by using it. But Harvey was absolutely a pacifist. His point was the opposite. He was using it ironically. A warning about how easily hateful ideas can sound appealing, how they get disguised.
How did he respond to the accusations directly?
His quote on it is pretty famous and very Alex Harvey. He said, "More lives have been changed by a Fender Telecaster than an AK-47.
Powerful statement.
Yeah. For him, music, performance, that was the real tool for change. More effective, more lasting than violence. He was using the controversy to make people think.
So they're at this peak, creatively, huge live draw, dealing with controversy. But it all fell apart very quickly after that, didn't it?
It did. Things started to unravel around 1976. A big blow was their manager and label boss, Bill Fahily, dying in a plane crash. That, combined with Leslie's death earlier, sources say Alex started to, quote, hit the skids. The personal toll was immense.
And the professional pressure, too. The relentless touring, especially trying to crack America.
Brutal. The U.S. tours were expensive and punishing, and they were so intense live, apparently some American bands refused to follow them on stage. That intensity took its toll. Alex collapsed on a European tour. Hugh McKenna, the keyboardist, ended up hospitalized with nervous exhaustion. He had to quit in early '77.
The whole machine was just burning out.
Completely. The final straw was Alex quitting himself. Just walked away 2 days before a big UK tour was supposed to start in 1977, left the rest of the band high and dry.
And after being the biggest grossing live act, what was the financial fallout for the band members.
That's the really bitter irony, isn't it? Sold out huge venues, cultural phenomenon, 8 albums, and the band members found themselves, according to them, 80 grand in debt.
80,000 pounds in debt. How?
They blamed mismanagement, the sheer cost of those failed U.S. tours trying to break through. It just didn't translate financially for them personally. So it ended in acrimony, debt, and burnout. A really sad end to such a unique run.
It really was all about those juxtapositions, wasn't it? Hard rock muscle against cabaret laughs, street smarts and deep thinking. Alex Harvey, the guy who believed the guitar was mightier than the gun, but the rock and roll life itself just seemed to consume them all in the end.
Yeah, it's a powerful paradox, which kind of leads to a final thought maybe for you listening. Alex Harvey was a master at creating these characters. Vambo, the faith healer, to deliver his ideas, his philosophy, wrapped in theater. So if a modern-day Alex Harvey existed, with all the tools we have now, social media, digital art, instant global reach, how might he stage his revolution? What kind of character, what kind of performance would he create today to make you believe? What would Vambo look like in the 21st century?